Hey everybody, it's Lise Merle from Rebel News here to report on what happened this weekend in Saskatchewan, where impassioned advocates for our farm families, our agricultural sector, and our rural way of life gathered together to call for change from the federal government and its agencies to law enforcement after their most recent failures and egregious overreaches at Universal Ostrich Farm. From Prince Albert to Saskatoon, Yorkton, Moosomin, Weyburn, and Moose Jaw, and all points in between, peaceful agriculture enthusiasts decked out like they were off to a farm auction. Listen to Tyler, fourth-generation farmer from Arcola, Saskatchewan.
It's really concerning that the government can come in, a government branch can come in under their own authority with no oversight or anything and to make their own decisions on whether animals live or die. And with the CFIA, they have no set standard per se. Say if you got 100 animals, if 10% of them, test positive, they can say whether they cull all of them or just those hurt. It's a case-by-case basis. They have no set precedent on how they do stuff.
In Regina, we had speakers that advocated on behalf of farmers in the UK.
The cows in the UK are losing weight, not eating regular grain after eating it, and they're dying.
And a generally jovial time was had by all. The only vibe kill of the farmers' protest was the disproportionately huge police presence.
I just got word from somebody in contact with the people coming in for the farmers parade, and what they've heard is that police are turning people away as they're coming into the city. They're losing lots of, and I have honestly never seen police presence like I've seen in Regina or in this park. So there are way more police here than, handing out notes, by the way, handing out notes to the protesters. Then there are actual protesters, so we're just going to keep an eye on things, and we will be back real soon.
In Weyburn, Saskatchewan, best known for its all-you-can-eat KFC buffet, a large number of marked and unmarked police vehicles intercepted protesters, with reports that attendees were intimidated out of participating. In Regina, numerous squad cars were stationed on major highways entering the city. More were stationed at the Saskatchewan legislature, with one special member of the Regina Police Service parking right in the middle of the event, staying for the entire duration, despite there being no disruption nor any safety concerns. Incidentally, the Regina City Police recently took a hit to its credibility when it had to turf its Muslim diversity hire police chief who came from Britain, home of the rape gangs. And this doesn't help your image rehab. We know, thanks to our friends at Just Bins, that while many officers sat inside of their heated $200,000 taxpayer-funded cruisers, the crimes were in progress and were being committed right under their noses. While concerned citizens pleaded with the federal government, the CFIA, and law enforcement across the country to return to some semblance of normal, Regina Police and the RCMP sat in their cruisers and completely ignored what farmers and concerned citizens were saying.
I don't trust the police fully.
Nope.
I can honestly say that. I wish when I grew up, I loved the police. And I want to trust them again. But right now we're at a point that we don't fully trust them. Because we see what happened at the ostrich farm. They didn't do what was right. They did what the government. They worked for the government.
That's right.
And then when that could become a mafia, where they're working for the mafia. That has to change. And again, if you know police officers, tell them. You need to stand up and rise up. And if there's somebody that did wrong within the police department, stand up and says, we're not standing for that.
Then I learned that the organizer of Saskatchewan's farmer protest was concerned with the way that law enforcement and RCMP enthusiastically and relentlessly injected themselves. Just listen to what Amanda, Saskatchewan's farmer protest lead, had to say.
One girl in New Brunswick was threatened that if she went ahead with the convoy, what happened to Chris Barber and Tamara would happen to her. So she dropped out. The protest leader got some emails. I don't know if they called him, but like my lead in Regina and my lead in Moose Jaw got a bunch of calls, and they were like pressuring my Regina lead to make me contact them. And after the truckers convoy, people are afraid of the RCMP and having their bank accounts seized and going to jail.
For an event that was peaceful and didn't threaten public safety, why on earth were there so many police involved? Well, I have a working theory, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. But is it possible that law enforcement in Canada, whether it be the RCMP or provincial or municipal police forces, can get sucked into a social media algorithm? I mean, think on it. Is it possible that law enforcement, what with all of their intelligence gathering capabilities and their fondness for monitoring Canadians, spent a little bit too much time on TikTok and convinced themselves of a much larger or much more dangerous event? I think it's not only possible, but probable. One that, according to their official risk assessments and DEI checklists, required facilitation, required severe community engagement. One that required official police correspondence on official police services letterhead. While crime in Canada rages out of control, having this many police resources wasted, really embarrassingly squandered, is the problem, especially since nobody called police for help and no crimes were being committed. Well, the worst part was that they couldn't even be bothered to listen to what Canadians had to say. While organized crime, violent crime, sex crime, and international crime is running rampant in Canada, our law enforcement thinks women with traditional beliefs are Canada's biggest threat. Like you would think if you spent too much time online.
If someone you know was very believed in equal gender rights, but all of a sudden are leaning towards like traditional values, and that might be a sign that they're becoming more extremist. But
if the RCMP and law enforcement was truly interested in earning the trust of Canadians back, they would be wise to be less creepy, log off social media, and spend more time stopping actual criminals. But what do I know? I'm just a girl from Saskatchewan who happens to love freedom, family, and farmers. For Rebel News, I'm Lise Merle.
Head over to avengetheostriches.com, sign the petition. You can see all of our reporting from on the ground directly and what led up to the ostrich cull. And at that same website, if you value our journalism, you can chip in a couple dollars towards our costs.